Good morning, everyone. This is Tim's New York Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, number one sports book in America. So. What should we talk about today? Should we talk about how perfectly awesome my hair is? Because that is a topic of conversation by itself. But we're going to have to talk about OBJ. They had a workout this morning, not with OBJ, not just with OBJ, but with multiple wide receivers. Juju Schuster-Smith was one of them. What's up, Tim? Chewy, check it in. What's up, Chewy? So they had multiple wide receivers coming in. And, you know, I looked at this and I saw the news, and it was early. I mean, they had these fucking guys in early. And already you're seeing the news that the New York Football Giants, Odell Beckham Jr., is facing competition for a spot on the 2006 roster. He hasn't even signed yet, but he's already expecting competition. Juju Schuster-Smith, Anthony Miller. There was another guy that was there as well, Braxton. I can't remember Breos. I can't remember Braxton's name, but you had all these younger guys there. Braxton's not younger. He's 30 years old. And I love it because Braxton's also another midget. He's a 5'9" wide receiver. I know they have Odell Beckham listed at, 5'11". If Odell Beckham is 5'11", that is a generous 5'11". Because I have met Odell Beckham. I have stood next to Odell Beckham. Yeah. I'm not seeing the 5'11" guy. But I'm so sick of the story. Is it a story that is because we need to have a feel good story? Is it a story because we just need to be something special, to have this special moment because of everything that went on? But can we just get rid of this drama? Odell Beckham has, let's be honest. Let's take off the fan hat. Boop. Let's put on the beat reporter hat. And let's talk about this realistically, ideology. Let's look at the ideology of this just for a second. He hasn't played in a year and a half. He's going to be 34, 35 in November. His most productive season, and I use the word productive in air quotes because it was only for a short period of time, was with the Rams in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, which was how many years ago? He was okay. Only started 2 games with the Baltimore Ravens. Went over to Miami. We all know what happened. He flamed out in Miami, got nailed for peds, hasn't played in a year and a half. Outside of him being the second or third all-time leading receiver on the New York Football Giants, never being to a Super Bowl for the Giants, playing in one playoff game and dropping a touchdown in the first quarter, and that was not the only pass he dropped. Then getting his big contract, doing the shit with the sidelines, doing the shit with the French model with the wacky weed, then goes on a podcast and bashes his quarterback in Giant legend and gets his ass shipped off, even though it wrecked the Giants cap space for 3 years, shipped off to Cleveland where he had 1,000-yard season, didn't get along with everyone in Cleveland, didn't get along with the quarterback, didn't get along with his best friend wide receiver who he had to play with. And then Giant fans have this they all want to talk about the catch. They all want to talk about that. That's what they want to talk about. But they don't want to talk about the fact that this guy took us to the playoffs once and then choked big time.
That's what she said.
And we fawn over the segment of the fan base fawns over him like there's no tomorrow. Now we had WFAN, of course, Boomer Esiason said that the Giants are going to be bringing back Odell Beckham. This would be the first big misstep. This would be the first big football misstep for the New York Giants and for John Harbaugh. Because there's no reason to do this. There's no reason to bring in a guy that is going to be 34 years old in November, hasn't played in a year and a half. You are doing this for nostalgia purposes. I do not see a football reason. I don't see a football reason to do this. And then I love it because you go on other newspapers. And a lot of times, like I tell you, a lot of times I go on other radio stations and listen to like the Cowboys radio station, listen to Eagles radio stations, listen to people that cover those teams. And I love it because I was listening to the one that was in Dallas, and they said Cowboy fans can only laugh at the Giants' pathetic attempt to fix their wide receiver crisis with Odell Beckham. And then you have Clutch Points saying the Odell Beckham workout went real. Not this, like I said, I'm not adding that. That's what they put really well. What's the point? Juju Schuster-Smith to me. We've talked about Juju Schuster-Smith before. That makes the most sense to me. When I see that name, yes, he has kind of gone on hard times. He is only 29 years old. He is a guy that is a big target. And like I said, he's 6'1", 6'2". Like I said, if you tell me Odell Beckham's 5'11", I got a problem with that. Because I ain't seeing that. 5'10" if you're lucky. But that's all right. But again, like I said, at least Juju Schuster-Smith has played. He has played, and people say, well, his production's been way down. Well, let's see. His targets from Kansas, first year in Kansas City, went from 101. And then the next 3 years, he's got 47, 26, 45. Last year was the first time in 3 years he was fully healthy. He only missed 3 games in 24, but he only started 12 games for the vaunted Kansas City Chiefs in 25, but he still caught 33 receptions, 345 yards, 10 yards of reception, and a touchdown. He's a big target. He's a professional wide receiver. He's a knucklehead, but he is not going to bring the pomp and circumstance that Odell Beckham is going to bring at this advanced age in his career, where he has not done anything in almost 3 years. Nostalgia is a great thing. Nostalgia is a great equalizer until you get on the field and you have to run mandatory minicamps, you have to run training camp, and you have to do what you need to do. You bringing him in, are you telling me he's competing for the 1 or the 2 or the 3, or is he competing for the 4 and the 5? Because if he's competing for the 4 and the 5, he's going to have to return punts. He's going to have to return kickoff. He's going to have to play special teams. The dangerous David Sills' biggest issue in regards to getting the 4th or the 5th wide receiver spot for the New York Giants in his tenure here was because of the fact that he couldn't play special teams. If you are the 4th and the 5th wide receiver, you are going to be running down punts. You are going to be on coverage duty. Are we going to do that with a 34-year-old wide receiver, or are we going to pretend he's this giant monarch that we can't have him do that? This is about winning football games. That's what this is about. I would take Anthony Miller over Odell Beckham because of the fact that he is a guy that is going to have the ability. He is a guy that is technically, you're saying he's 5'11" too. But I would bring Anthony Miller in. Anthony Miller really hasn't, he played in Baltimore last year. Bring him in. Why not? None of this makes any fucking sense. What's up, Joe's Ferries? Spano is always right, and I am wrong. You guys talk about IBM stock again. Hey-o. Everyone's going crazy about losing Gunner. He was firmly on the roster bubble. He is a non-factor as a wider, and he's only working as a returner. Thing is, Austin took his punt return job. You know what the funny thing is about Gunner? This reminds me of years ago when we lost Corey Coleman. This is when does anyone else remember Corey Coleman but me? This is when the Giants were pathetic. And I remember us losing Corey Coleman, and a collective segment of the fan base went fucking crazy like the season was lost because we lost Corey Coleman. And I was sitting there watching this going, what the fuck are people talking about? It's fucking Corey Coleman. You could have lost Gary Coleman, and I would have been more upset. We lost a third string, fourth string wide receiver and punt returner, but everyone went gaga because of the fact that we lost Corey Coleman. We went over this a million times before, and I'm not going to keep going over this, but we went over the fact that these late career reunions never fucking work out. They never work out. Everyone wants to feel nostalgic. Everyone wants to feel, oh, we feel so good. Hit the like button, guys. We feel so good on the return of OBJ. He was at the softball game, and it seemed like old times again. The old times I remember with OBJ is him getting in a fight with Josh Norman, getting his ass thrown out, him pissing on the sidelines or pissing on the end zone, him dropping the fucking touchdown in Green Bay, and us getting blown out. Well, we could have been up 14-0. Thank you, Sterling Shepard. That's what my memories are of him bashing his quarterback after getting $98 million. No, let's not remember all that. We're going to remember the catch in a game we fucking lost. I have talked to a couple people that are still in the league yesterday because of the fact that I just wanted to get an outside bubble opinion. I wanted to go outside the New York Giant bubble because I'm a beat writer. That's for Adrian or Andrea. She's a beat writer. She's allowed to make her comments because she's a beat writer. But I asked a couple people that I respect. I said, what do you think of the Giants signing Odell Beckham? Their first response was, I have no fucking clue why. There is no logical football sense. What other team is going out there and looking at OBJ and saying, damn, we need to sign this motherfucker? Nobody. Because you know the baggage. He's at the end of his career. He can't pay for his fucking yacht. I need a guy that's going to come in here, and if he's not going to take one of the 3 starting spots, I need a guy to come in here and return kicks, play special teams, do the dirty work that a young guy would do if he's in the 4th or the 5th spot. That's what I need Odell Beckham to do, but I don't fucking see that. Hold on, I'm typing something. I don't see it. You still have Darius Slayton. You still have Calvin Austin. You still have Malachi Fields. You still have Darnell Mooney. You still have Jalen Hyatt. You still what happened to Isaiah Hodgkins? Everyone loved him last year. Now we want to push him off the team to bring in OBJ. You still got Bo Collins. You still got Ryan Miller. You still got Xavier Gibson. Xavier Gibson can return punts and play special teams and be your 5th wide receiver. Even if Malik Neighbors doesn't come back till week 2, do you really think teams aren't going to just you do not think that teams are not just going to key on number 13 Odell Beckham? You know what the sad part out of all this is? I would rather have the Giants work with Jalen Hyatt than I would with bringing back Odell Beckham. People are like, you're crazy, Tim. No, I would rather have that because Jalen Hyatt's at least young. Jalen Hyatt, that if you can, I still think there's potential there, but potential doesn't mean anything if you cannot unlock the potential. I would rather have them work with Jalen Hyatt. You are not, and to all of John Harbaugh's bluster about being, making the playoffs. I love that. Love that talk. Love it. Ain't going to happen. There's still too many deficiencies. There's still too many holes. There's still too many question marks. I still say it's a 7-win team. I think this is a 7-win team, and I think this is closer to a not 8-win team than I think it's to a 5-win team. So I think right in there, I think that 7 wins is right the sweet spot. And that's 7 wins with or without Odell Beckham Jr. What does he bring? What does he bring? Emrod is right. Do we really need a punt? Tay Banks was looking great. Tay Banks looks like a top 5 punt returner, a kickoff returner last year at the end of the season. You're going to have Tay Banks this year no matter what. So why not put him out there to return some fucking kicks? I would do that. Predictions for game 1, Wednesday's Knicks at Spurs. My prediction, pain. The Knick fan in me tells me we're winning game 1. The Knick fan tells me we're sweeping. Knicks in 4. That's what the Knick fan. That's what the Knick fan in my heart's telling me. The non-Knick fan or the fan that is sitting there and telling you, oh geez, I think we lose game 1. I think we take game 2, and I think we close this out. I think it's gonna be a quick series. I'm giving the Knicks 4-1. Knicks 4-1. That's what I'm giving this series. There's a great video if you want to watch it. It's called New York Knicks Unleashed. I just put it up a few minutes ago. There's the link to it if you want to go watch it later. It talks all about the New York Knicks finals. New York Knicks Spurs. Can Jalen Brunson bring a championship back to New York? It's a great podcast. It's a great show. Make sure you go and watch it. Still having nightmares about the Spurs big mauling Marcus Camby 25 years ago. Listen, I'm telling you this right now. You go watch the Cup game. I don't care what the score was. I still don't care what the score was in that Cup game, even though the Knicks won it. And they didn't hoist the banner, which I thought was fucking awesome. You bully Wemby. You bully him. You watch OG Anunoby bully his ass. You do the same. Cat's got that mean streak in him when he wants to be. And then you throw the likes in. And this is why I laugh when people are upset about Mitchell Robinson. I'm upset about it. But I'm telling you this, Ariel Hakaporti is the perfect equalizer for Wemby. You don't care if he fouls out. You saw what he did to Franz, whatever, early in the season against Orlando in the Garden. I was there. I was like 3 rows away from watching him destroy the guy. You don't care if he gets thrown out. You don't care, Ariel Hakaporti, but he can put a hat on Wemby for like 8-9 minutes. And when that kid gets flustered, when that kid gets someone, when there's something in his mind, he fucking just goes off he just goes off the thing. Joe Spano says the Giants are not re-signing OBJ. It's pretty telling that he's been in now for multiple workouts without a contract. This is not something we see in the NFL. That's true. The Spurs have home court advantage. Will they do a Hacker Robinson? Listen, he disconnected the metatarsal from his pinky all the way down to his wrist. The motherfucker ain't playing. Game 1's in San Antonio. The motherfucker ain't playing. I'm sorry. You can say what you want to say. He is not playing. But we have to, what does Hunter say? From my perspective, the insight in the Trump dark dynamic is lacking. First, the term strewed about with definition. What does it mean for a player to be the face of the franchise? Once defined, an insightful, thoughtful disclosure can occur. Only presidential politics mocks those who are psycho. Right? Oh my God, I want to get into that. Hunter, no, we're not getting into all that. Good morning, Joe Spano. Good morning, Tim. Looks like the biggest topic in Giant Land live now. Smash that like button and check out the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, #1 sportsbook in America. Mr. Greg says, so they bring back OBJ as a savior. That's like throwing gasoline on the campfire and says nothing here to see. Here's my problem with bringing in OBJ. If you want to bring in OBJ, I'm fine with that. I think it's stupid. I think it makes zero football sense. But you better bring in someone along with him. Now, listen, we only got about $11 million in cap space after it was funny though, because it was initially reported that the Andrew Thomas contract, we only guaranteed like $4.6 million. So we could convert that into bonus money and not push a lot of money out into the next couple of years. Well, it turned out that was totally wrong. That's what you got to love about that's what you got to love about the beat writers. That was totally wrong. We actually pretty much took the salary, took that money, and we converted almost all of his salary into a signing bonus, which pushed cap space into 27, 28, and 29. So now his cap number went up, and now he's owed $30 million over the next 3 years instead of what it was previously. We can't keep doing this, guys. We've run into this situation before, and I understand why we had to do it this time, because of the fact that honestly, we didn't have the money to sign Arvell Reese. So right now, we're probably looking at about $11 million in cap space. You're going to need your operational cap space because that's only with the rule of 51. It's you can't keep doing this, because then we're just going to keep pushing. And the Giants in some ways are playing the smart that they're not doing all these contracts at once. If it was Kevin Abrams, he would be like, let's restructure Paulson Adebo, Brian Burns, Holland, and Kayvon Thibodeau, then we can go out and sign this big name player. But you basically have taken the money, and he's 27 years old. So in the 3 years, he'll be 30, Andrew Thomas. So you hope he retains or regains his health, Andrew Thomas, and becomes a bargain at $30 million a year at the left tackle position. That's what we're hoping on. That's what we're betting on. It would have made more sense to me to restructure the Brian Burns deal, because Brian Burns at 28 is already a proven commodity. So if you increase his cap number in the back end of his contract, he's not even going to be, by the time he gets there, he's barely going to be 30. And he's already been healthy and he's already been productive. I don't like taking the contract of an oft injured player and taking money and then extending it out over the back end of the deal. It's a bad way to do business. But if you're only going to do it with him, that makes sense. So right now we have a $10.5 million in total cap space with the rule of 51. So by the time we get to bring in the two other contracts, we don't make any other additional moves after we hit the rule of 50. After the rule of 51 expires after camp, you'll probably have like $4 million. So we're going to need to do something. So if you bring in OBJ, you bring in Juju Sushri, you bring in these people, you're going to have to bring them in on veteran minimum deals. If you give anything to OBJ over a veteran minimum deal, I won't know what to say. To be honest, I won't know how to react. I know what I'll do. I'll react and say, I'm no longer a Giant fan. Jaxson Darla likes Trump and we gave him too much money. I'm not a Giant fan anymore because I thought he was a Mormon white boy. I could say that though, because I'm a beat reporter. People are like, what the fuck is he talking about? You have to go look that up. He is the trouble in his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall the servant to the wise in the heart. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good proverb. Greg, I think you said it very well. If Harbs and the Giants brass were sold on OBJ, the fan base would. They would have signed him already. Not yet for another workout. Here's my thing. He was at the license plate guy Spida Games softball charity softball game on Saturday. Evidently, he was loved by everyone, but he was also there collecting some cash. But it just doesn't make football sense. And I've said this before, and I've said this a million times with this show. We're not sitting here trying to tell you what makes fan sense. I'm sitting here trying to tell you what makes football sense. And football sense tells you OBJ does not do anything, does not move the needle on this team at all. Not even a little bit. Good morning, WK. It's been a long weekend. As far as the wide receiver market, who is available and who would take the league moment besides OBJ? Juju Schuster would. Anthony Miller would. If the problem is there are other guys on, if you were really serious about bringing in a wide receiver and you want to bring in someone that could do other things, you take a gamble on Tyreek Hill. You're going to have to pay him more. You take a gamble on Stephon Diggs. I would rather go out and get Deebo Samuel or Curtis Samuel. I would rather look at DeAndre Hopkins. If you could pry Keenan Allen away from the Chargers, and because I don't think Keenan Allen's going to go anywhere right now. I think he'll retire instead of not playing in LA. But I would take Keenan Allen if you were really truly serious about this. Fuck, I would take You got Braden Cook still out there. Fuck, bring back Alex Bachman. I love it because you go on the list of available wide receivers in the NFL, available free agent wide receivers. You want to laugh? You want to really laugh? You know who's not on the list? Odell Beckham. Out of the 30 plus guys that I'm seeing here, the one guy that's not on this list is fucking Odell Beckham. Braden Cooks. Why not? He played last year on a veteran minimum deal with Buffalo. Still 32 years old. Played 530 something snaps. Only had 300 yards. Only started 5 games. But he's a guy that's still got some speed. Still got a little juice. He's played more in the last 3 years than Odell Beckham has ever played. Why not? If you're going to make a move that is going to help finalize your roster and is going to help you down the long term, what's wrong with running out and getting Curtis Samuel? Curtis Samuel, I guarantee, will take a veteran minimum. Guy's 29 years old, coming off the injuries, only played 6 games in Buffalo, but why not? If we're talking about dream scenarios, why not? You grab Deebo Samuel. He had 700. This is the other thing that kills me. If you want to pay a little bit of money, go grab Deebo. And I'm not talking from Friday. Go get Deebo Samuel. 700 plus yards last year. Why not? He just made a trip over to the Baltimore Ravens and everything else. Go grab him. Go make a move. He's a proven number 2. Excuse me. He's not a traditional Deebo. You know what the thing is with this? Deebo Samuels is not a number 1 anymore. But he's a true number 2. And he's a guy that if you bring him in, he makes more to fuck sense than bringing in a washed up Odell Beckham Jr. He looks great in the workout. He looked great. I always love him. He looked great in shorts. I don't want to break the news to anyone, but anyone's seen me? I look fucking great in shorts. Right, James? See, James Williams just popped in. I look great in shorts. Got big calves. I look great in shorts. Look like a football player. Too bad I can't run. So maybe the Giants should sign me. That's the thing. If we're here to actually talk about winning games, if we're here to actually talk about taking the Giants to the next level, why would you just bring in a name who can't play? And then people will say, well, Tim, how you know when he can't play? He was Braxton Berry. He's a punt returner. He's nobody. You might as well bring him in. Bring them all in. He used to play for the Texans and a couple other teams. But if you're going to do this right, go get Deebo. Go get him. 700 yards last year and 72 receptions and 5 touchdowns. You're going to pay him a little bit more, but he's on the market now. Fuck, like I said, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is not a guy that is not Stephon Diggs from what he was, but he played in 17 games last year and started 17 games, had 1,000 yards. 85 receptions for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns with Drake May. Why are we not talking about these names? Why are we only talking about OBJ? I just named 3 guys in the market that are better options as a 1 or as a 2 or a 3 than bringing in a 34, soon to be 34-year-old, hasn't played in a year and a half, got suspended for PEDS, OBJ. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense at all. My dog got wavy hair like the 60s. Hell yeah, brother. And we need OBJ? There are big body wide receivers. I need OBJ to run block. No, we can't. To your point, I need him to be I need him to block downfield. Is OBJ going to block downfield? Fuck no. Is he going to return punts and kickoffs? Fuck no. Is he going to be the gunner on special teams? Fuck no. So if you're bringing him in, he's got to be one of your starters. Hair game is strong today. So I can even go. You can even do that. Got to give a got to throw some love to Grandma Online Big Blue. She's in the hospital, so she was taken to the hospital on Saturday. So we got to give a big shout out to Grandma Online Big Blue. Hopefully she'll be released in the next couple days. We're still waiting back on some tests, so we got to throw that shout out there. Do you think all the wide receiver giants are offered the same contract? No. OBJ is probably not going to want a veteran minimum. Not at all. Special teams will be needed since Gunner tore his ACL. But to people's right, Banks can return punts. With OBJ being off so long, do you think it hurts him? It hurts. I will tell you this. I have talked to professional athletes. I know most of the people I know now are former professional athletes. They will tell you it is difficult if you are out for like 2 years and you are out and you are not playing football. You're not getting into the contact. People have told me this. Your first hit, the first time someone lays wood to you, a lot of times is an awakening. Especially if you've been gone for like a year and a half or 2 years like OBJ. The first time someone puts the helmet to you, the pads to you, you start questioning whether you want to be there. We've seen it. We've saw it with the Giants for years. They would bring in these big name older guys. And then someone would lay wood to them. They're like, nope, fucking done. Because it's different to recover when you're 24 than when you're 33. I can tell you that. The recovery process is a lot different. I had to build a fucking sauna in the house just after I work out in the gym because I need the heat all over my fucking body. Winning feels much better than bringing back OBJ. I agree, Joe. Let's see, Spy Smasher, AJ here. This was one of the disguises I adopted when I fought the Nazi saboteurs in World War II. Are you sure you're not McLovin? Are you positive? I think you are now. Where'd the fucking soundbite go? It did fuck me out. Here we go.
I am McLovin.
I love it. Someone asked me. Someone DM'd me on Saturday or Sunday. I remember what day it was. And they were like, what happened to him? McLovin, he deleted his entire social media profile. He deleted his channel. You know, what happened to him? I don't know. And then someone asked him if he came back and apologized, would you bring him back into the fold? And I thought this was an interesting question because I never had a problem with the kid. And so I said it before. I said, yeah. And I said he wouldn't even have to apologize. Because he's young and people do stupid shit. We've had people, fucking OGR Sports. OGR Sports hated me. Fucking hated me. He hated me with a fucking passion. did videos when OGR was doing videos, did videos on how much he hated me. We have him on the show all the time. I consider OGR a friend. I text him outside of the show, not doing other stuff. I love James. You have to have a damn good apology with beer. No, I'm fine. Like I said before, I don't hold grudges against people for being stupid. That's just life. I do hold grudges for people for dropping the fucking touchdown in the end zone in the first quarter against Green Bay that could have put us up 14-0 and changed the whole complexion of the game. And then you want to bring him back 33 years old, soon to be 34 in November. I got a problem with that. Winning when we have won last decade. Should have drafted Aaron Donald or Zach Martin. That would have made sense. We're not gonna get into that. What's going on? What happened? When did they sign OBJ? And he stinks. They brought him. They had an early morning workout. They had a workout like at 8:00 in the morning. This is the thing I find interesting. Usually, when you work out players, it's around 11, 12 o'clock. Sometimes even in the afternoon, sometimes like 3 or 4. They had this fucking shit before 8. They had these motherfuckers in before 8. It's almost like they didn't want anyone to see the workout. What's up, Zach Attack? James holds grudge, especially with the Ghost Brothers. He does. I would take Hyatt over OBJ. No speed on Juju. 3 names. That's a pass for me. No, that's for serial killers. 3 names is always a serial killer. Juju Schuster is just a knucklehead. Juju's not a serial killer. He's a fucking knucklehead. But he can block downfield. Go clear some cap space. Take $8 million. Bring in Stephon Diggs. Take $6 million. Offer it to Deebo Samuels. You have a 2 or a 3. And then throw a veteran minimum at a guy like Juju. And you're fine. Just need a run blocking receiver. But Gunner got hurt. I don't know how bad that hurt. The Gunner thing does not hurt us at all. Gunner was a bubble guy. Joe Spano was right. Gunner was a bubble guy. It's clear the Giants are happy with the wide receivers on the roster as a primary contributors. They're adding a camp body with experience to replace Gunner. If Odell is 5'11", I'm 6'14". I've stood next to Odell Beckham. And if Odell Beckham is 5'11", okay, are we talking 5'11" with the hair? Because there are days that my hair is pretty high. So are we talking 5'11" with the hair? Because then maybe I give it to him. But then I'm 6'3". Corey Coleman. I remember Corey Coleman getting hurt. I remember that. And everyone went fucking crazy. Buy IBM stock. Giants win 10 games. Heard that here first. Where's James? I know he's punching the air right now. James is right there. What you talking about, Tim? No. I love you, Joe. I can't take another political show, brother. We're not doing a political show today. I'm gonna talk about the divided locker room because I'm gonna talk about the divided locker room real quick. For everyone sitting there and saying, hey, listen, they're all singing Kumbaya at a softball game in May. Try being trapped in training camp for 2.5 months every single day and then tell me if they're singing Kumbaya. Or the yacht party before the playoffs game. I don't like Odell Beckham, what he did in 2016. They screwed Eli, dropped balls. You're right. You're not wrong. I'm a fan of Isaiah. Little Jordan Humphreys, bring him back. I like Isaiah Hodgkins too. Physical route runner, good hands, can block. Bring him back. Don't worry, Tim and Jameis Winston will keep OBJ. Oh my God, you're bringing it, and then I love it though because the leaders of this team are Kayvon Thibodeau and Jameis Winston. That tells you immediately you have a locker room problem in reference to your leaders. I can't listen to Jameis Winston without thinking, you got suspended for 4 games for groping an Uber driver back in Tampa. You got You had a rape charge filed against you, almost filed against you, that the university paid off the alleged victim and then swept all the shit under the rug. You had him yelling, standing on the tables, yelling vulgarity. You had the BB gun incident. You had the crab incident. Jameis Winston is not this guy that I'm like, I look at him and go, wow, you're Curtis Martin. You're former New England Jet Hall of Fame running back Curtis Martin. You are just this wonderful guy. Oh, he's got some skeletons in the motherfucking closet, and he doesn't really play. And he's one of the leaders of the team, our second string quarterback. Someone please fucking explain that to me. Oh, we just signed him. There we go. Oh my God. Thank the fucking Lord. But what happened to OBJ? So we signed Braxton. Oh, thank the Lords of Cobalt. I understand you went. I love Josiah Anderson, but it went really, really, really well. That went so well. They signed Braxton. 1 year deal. Hold on, we got Grammy, OBB Grammy news here. Hold on, let me read this. Let me read this text message real quick. What did they say? They came in. Okay, more tests. Hold on, I gotta send this to Mrs. OBB. Ba-da-da-da-da. All right, so we just signed Braxton. I mean, like I said, to Joe Spano's point, they're bringing in a camp guy. They're bringing in a special. He's a special teamer. So I got no problem with that. He's played sparingly, which I find funny. He played in Miami in 2004. It was in Houston 4 games 2006. So they brought in a camp body. Thank God they did not ruin the continuity by bringing in OBJ. Dawn has a big task ahead of her. She does. Pat Leonard asked Abdul Carter if Jaxson had apologized to him. Now that's definitely isn't coming on this. Now Pat Leonard's a fucking retard. Oh, fuck. I'm not supposed to call people retarded. Damn it. I take that back. Pat, and I apologize. And Pat Leonard is not a retard. He is just mentally handicapped for a retard. Pat Leonard. Does anyone even listen or follow Pat Leonard? James Williams, come on, my brother. I know you're home today. How do I do this again? I know you're home. Copy the link. I want to talk about OBJ because I know OBJ is your favorite topics. Thomas, 3 seasons ending injuries in a row. Yeah, no shit. And then we extend his contract. But thank the love of God, no OBJ yet. You probably gave Braxton a veteran minimum. He is a guy, like I said, really hasn't been any. He's got really no chops as a wide receiver since going back to 2023. He's a punt returner. He's a special teams guy. I love it because I'm trying to get on X to see what's going on X. Hard to say we sign OBJ after this, yes or no. No, you don't sign him. It makes no fucking sense. If something made sense, then you sign him. But this makes no guaranteed football sense, and you sign Braxton over OBJ. But he had a really good workout. take some money, restructure some fucking deals, go out and get Deebo Samuels, go out and get Stephon Diggs. If you really think you are this close, unbreak my heart, say you love me again. Sorry, I saw Tony Braxton in the chat. Do it. There's no wide receiver we can get instead of OBJ. No, none. And OBJ is not. You look at the top available wide receivers right now. I would get Stephon Diggs or Deebo Samuels. You're going to pay less for. Stephon Diggs still had 1,000 yards last year with New England, and Deebo had 700 for. And of course, the wide receiver situation in Washington last year was kind of fucked up. But go get, if you really want to do this, get some money, bring in these two guys, and call it a fucking day. I'll bring in one of them. Keep Tony Braxton. I'm good with that. Don't make a mess. Don't make a mess of your roster by bringing in another truly fucking knucklehead. OBJ has not become this modern, this wonderful citizen now. OBJ is looking for a job. And right now, the only team that's even talking about him is the Giants. Braxton was on the Jets, kind of a good for a bit, right? Yeah, Braxton, I mean, when was the, I mean, he was, he was on the, he played, how many years for the Jets did he play? Played fucking 4 years for the Jets. 4 or 5 years? Was it 5 years? Maybe it was 5 years. I don't remember. He had some moments early in his career, but he's a punt returner. He's a kick returner. And that's what we need. He's a special teams guy. God forbid we go out and get a special teams guy that we need. He returns punts and kickoff. He had that, who the fuck was it against? He had a 100-yard return on a kickoff for the Jets years ago. I don't remember when it was, but he did have a 100-yard kickoff. 100-yard kickoff. What's up, Big James? Braxton, sorry, no OBJ. Well, I wouldn't cut. No, you're not going to. You cannot cut Runyon. You can't cut Runyon at all. Because Runyon is, for better or for worse, Runyon. Yeah, we signed a 5'9" wide receiver that's going to be a punt returner. He's not going to be a 5'10" wide receiver that can't play special teams. So I don't care. If you sign a guy that's 5'10" to return kicks, I don't fucking care. Because he's not going to be your starting wide receiver. You sign OBJ if you think he can come in here and take a third spot, take a spot away from Darius Slayton. I don't think he could take the spot away from Malachi Fields. And I'm not even a huge Malachi Fields fan. Can someone tell me why we're thinking of signing OBJ? Tell me why we're not. Copy. Spy Smasher. He's okay. Braxton is okay. He played for the Jets for about 4 years. He's bounced around a little bit. He's known mainly as a special teams guy. He's not going to come in here and set the world on fire. What did he have? He had 3 returns last year he averaged 27 yards on 3 kick returns last year. He averaged 8.3 on the punts. When he was over in Miami, he actually did pull in Miami. He averaged 14.7 yards per punt return and averaged 25.3. I mean, he's a special team. He is truly the definition of a special teams guy. He's good at what he does. Yes, but I still think Hill, if he's coming off the injury, is still more of a productive player. We got Braxton. Amen, Tim. I would love to sign DeAndre Hopkins. It would just make sense. You know what makes sense? Hitting the like button. It just makes sense if you bring in a DeAndre Hopkins. Listen, you've already pushed some money out. And you pushed a lot more money out than I thought with that Andrew Thomas contract because the initial reports were wrong. We did not just move $4.8 million. We've converted like 85% of his salary and moved it, which then pushed money out throughout the rest of the deal. So now he's got almost a $30 million salary for the next 3 years, which is not bad if he's healthy, and then you get a bargain at your left tackle spot. I would have done the Brian Burns. I would have moved the Brian Burns contract because that made more sense. Because Brian Burns is 28 years old and has been healthy and productive for the last 5 years, and actually seems to be coming into his own. What about Brian Burns? Hope Keenan Allen wants to play for another Harbaugh. Mr. Perry, I will tell you this about Keenan Allen, and I've talked about this a couple times now. Someone told me that if he plays again, it's only going to be with the Chargers. It's only going to be in LA. And if he doesn't get another shot with LA, he's going to retire. Why not bring in Plex? Is it me or is OBJ out there begging the Giants for a job because he's broke? I don't know his financial situation, but I will tell you this. This reeks a lot of Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz, when he was at the end of his Giant career, he tried to do what he did with the Bears. That didn't work out. And then I talked about this. I showed pictures of it. I don't even know if I still have I probably still have the pictures on one of the other computers. All he did every game, every preseason game, he would hang out on the field. And he would talk to the coaches. He would sit there and talk to Brian Dable and talk to everyone. Almost like the motherfucker was begging for a job. Like he had nothing better to do besides to be at the Giant camp, kind of waiting for his opportunity. That's what this kind of reminds me of with OBJ. It's a young team. We don't need big name egos. I'm just saying, Joe, if you want to make a move, if you want to make a splash, it makes more sense to bring in a bigger name player at a higher salary who has been productive over the last couple years, such as a Deebo Samuels or Stephon Diggs, than it would be ever to research bringing in OBJ. Yeah, we see they signed Braxton. Like OBJ, Spano's begging for screen time with Tim. I'm waiting for James, brother. I know you're home, James. I won't be ignored, Dan. Oh, I am so far behind on the chat. Curtis Samuels wouldn't be a horrible. We talked about Curtis Samuels. Curtis Samuels last year didn't really play, but he's a better option. He can receive. He can return kicks. He can run it out of the backfield. I would do that. Special teams. I was going to make a really bad joke, but I'm not going to. He's just begging for a payday. Must be broke his ass. What some people are saying. Tyreek Hill stood out there. He's faster than most wide receivers on one leg. You know what, Big Greg? You're right. I don't know how he's doing with the injury, but, we could use Deebo in the slot. Here's the problem. People, let's see. You must want Tim to yell at y'all. Why? What did they? I haven't even gotten that far down yet to yell at people yet. But people forget Isaiah likely plays in the slot a lot. He played 275 snaps in the slot last year. I'm convinced, based on the state of the roster and the cap situation, the Giants are satisfied with their top 5 or 6 wide receivers. They are bringing in camp bodies to absorb punt return depths, nothing more. You're right. Punt returner, was with the Jets for 4 years, hasn't really played, but when he has played, he's returned kicks well. Let's go Knicks. Telling you guys, 4-1. We lose game 1. Ariel Hakaporti comes in game 2, concusses Wemby. Series is over. Knicks just put the pedal to the metal. To your point, Tim, veteran minimum guys don't affect the rule of Captain One snap space. They don't. He wears shorts in snowstorms, people. Yes. The last big snow we had. Yes, I do wear shorts in the snow. That's why I'm moving to Miami. I literally am probably going to move to Miami like in a couple months. Long story. Not going to get out of that. I'm going to be a Dolphins beat reporter. Joking about that. But yes, there was the last big snowstorm and I'm outside. I just finished talking to James. He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, I'm like, I'm outside shoveling snow. Now, mind you, it's like a fucking blizzard out there. And I'm talking to James and I'm shoveling snow. And James was like, James goes to me, don't tell me you're wearing shorts. I said, I will tell you this. Then my neighbor across the street thinks I'm a fucking lunatic because I am out there with a leather jacket, wide open, shorts, sneakers, and no socks. And I'm shoveling snow. I'm shoveling in a blizzard. Yes. What about Brandon? What's up with Brandon Ayuk? He's still with 49ers, so we can't get him. Listen, I'm not trading for him. Former punt returner, played with the Jets a bunch of years, bounced around between the Texans and Miami the last couple of years, basically always returns punts, and that's what how much would Debo cost? I think Stephon Diggs is gonna cost a lot more than Debo Samuels. Stephon Diggs last year, I think, right? They say, and I never agree with these market value things. They say his market value is about 13 million. I think Stephon Diggs you get between 8 to 10. Debo Samuels, they actually have a higher market value on than Stephon Diggs, but I still think you can get Debo Samuels at this point in time between like 7 and 11. And then what you do is you don't guarantee, you guarantee some bonus money. You keep it at a lower salary and you make it less painful to release him in year 2 or 3 if you need to. I think that kind of makes more sense. Special team guys. Okay. I'm okay with that. That's all I need to know. You're welcome. They brought him in to replace Gunner, I think. Yeah, that's basically what they did. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. You know what? I'm not saying anything about, because you know what? Injuries are different for everyone. I love that one video someone sent me about the sports guy that does all the funny videos. And he talks about how Malik Neighbors is more hurt than where the Giants are letting on. And they show a picture of him and he doesn't have a leg. They're like, we're hoping it's going to grow back like a starfish. Gunner's a fraud. He's not even a gunner. Ayuk is still out there. Probably be released by the 49ers soon. Team waiting to see not to give up draft capital on a knuckle. Oh, yeah. No one's going to trade for him. Someone's going to release him. They're going to release him. But to your point, Greg, he's going to want money. New Jersey FanDuel still talking about Christian Watkins all the time. And I thought she was done. I thought she left it. I thought she left the Super Friends. Someone told me she wasn't on their last couple shows. And that's when she told them that she could say these things about Jaxson Dart and all these other things because she's a beat reporter. My question was, and I'm getting closer to the camera, what beat are you reporting on and for? Yes, you can afford Debo. Listen, you take a look at the Giants contractually. You've already pushed the money. You've already did what you did. You already did what you did to sign Reese. Everything that we did with Andrew Thomas's contract was for us to sign Arvell Reese. That was it. That was it. And you still have like $8 to $9 million left over. So I'm taking the Brian Burns contract. I'm looking at the Brian Burns contract right now, $21 million cap hit. I'm going to guarantee a lot of the money. The problem is with the Brian Burns. Oh, see, that's right. They already did that contract, the Brian Burns contract, because he had the restructure bonus. And that restructure bonus from Kevin Abrams, thanks Kevin Abrams, was for $11 million over the next 3 years. So you really can't do the Brian Burns contract. This is hard. This is breaking hard-hitting news right now. We can't do the contract. We can't do the Brian Burns deal. We've already fucked with that money. I don't want to do the Paulson the Debo contract because you basically can get out at the end of next year. Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't want to touch the Holland contract. Not touching the Slayton contract. Well, that is interesting. I forgot that we already restructured Brian Burns' contract. And he has got an $11 million prorated restructure bonus over the next 3 years. So really, truly, the only candidate, because Brian Burns' salary this year, which is kind of weird. Brian Burns, because of the restructure, salary is only $1.3 million with a $7 million signing bonus and an $11 million restructure bonus. Huh. Yeah, we can't do Brian Burns' contract. I don't want to touch the Holland contract. The Holland contract to me is just a fucking disaster waiting to happen. I always love when they go, you could potentially get out of the contract. So you could restructure it. You could get another 10 million by restructuring the Holland contract, but then that's going to push more of a restructure bonus out into 27. He's got an $18 million dead cap in 27. But the problem is this: if he sucks again, he's going to be a fucking anchor for another season. Okay, so I'm not doing the Holland contract. Not doing the Darius Slayton contract. Well, the Darius Slayton contract, you could probably save about $9 million. He's got a $12 million dead cap number. You could reduce that to $3 million with the rule of 51, so it'd be $5 million. If you want to pick up $8-9 million there, you could do the Slayton contract. You could also try to release somebody. But I'm looking at the active contract list. The Giants are pretty well tapped out on where they can get money from. They can't restructure. They can't convert Kayvon Thibodeau because he's got no year after this year. So that's not going to work. I'm not touching John Runyon's deal because I want John Runyon gone. Well, John Runyon is going to be gone. John Runyon will be gone next year, so you can't you would have to cut John Runyon or have him restructure. Now, if you can get some of these people to restructure some of this money, but again, that's still going to push money out into this. This is Roy Robert Harris is gone for the year, so you could move on from him, but you're really not saving any. You're not saving more than $3 million. The Giants are kind of tapped out about where they can go. Yeah, we don't need the volume. Tim's hair looks like Kurt Russell and Monarch. Good show. Love Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's one of my favorite actors. Big Trouble in Little China. Probably one of my favorite movies. You can watch that all day long. The Thing. Escape from New York. Fuck, even Overboard was funny. You know, you got Used Carmen, or what is that? Used Cars. That was early in his career. First movie was when he kicks Elvis in the leg, and it happened at the World's Fair. Great actor, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell and Dennis Quaid are probably two of my favorite actors. Dennis Quaid sent me, I got it somewhere around here. One of my favorite football movies is Everyone's All-American with him and Jessica Lange. And he played a character named Gavin Gray, and it was off a book. I don't know where it is, though, but he sent me a really nice guy. I sent him a letter. I sent him an email, not a letter. I sent him an email because he was doing something with some kind of charity, and I made a donation, and I sent him an email about it. And then I was thinking it was for the Wounded Warriors Project. And he actually emailed me back, and he asked me for my address. And then he sent me an autographed picture of him as Gavin Gray from Everyone's All-American, and somewhere in the office. I want Sterling Shepard back. Why not? Yep, Grammy's still in the hospital, so we got to wait and see what happens to Grammy. Giants just signed Braxton per Big Dash. Actually, they signed him per X and Adam Schefter. But if you want to give Big Dash credit, that's fine. But Adam Schefter reported it before Big Dash, and Big Dash probably got it from Adam Schefter. Joe says, get well, Grammy, soon. OBB prayers. What do we got here? Tim, you still want questioning in the Tim, you're still wanted for questioning in the disappearance of McLovin. I didn't do anything, man. And I already said I'd bring him back in the fold. It happens. As your lawyer would have to give you a damn good apology and a beer. It's funny, as much as McLovin said he was releasing evidence against him, and proof, he's gone. It's all right. It's all right. Listen, he's a kid. He's 17 years old. I got young kids upstairs. Well, not upstairs, they're in school. Shit happens. You know what the thing, and this is the thing. When he evidently had an issue with me, I was still texting him. I actually got him an opportunity for a sponsorship because I have a new sponsor coming on board, and they were like, do you want to bring some other people on? So I got him an opportunity for a sponsorship, and I was texting him about it. And then the day everything happened, I was about to text him the link to sign up for the sponsorship. So I had no clue. I had no clue anything was fucking going on. James holds grudges. I don't. It's what it is. OGR said some nasty, vile things about me. I think the videos are still up because OGR is a man. He left the videos up. But then we talk shit out. Unlike Abdul Carter, I didn't post anything on social media. I didn't all of a sudden sit there and say, yeah, we talk shit out, but if someone says something, I'm going to have to fucking say something. Me and OGR talk shit out. No, he's a friend. He's gone to baseball games with me. He's been to Giant games with me. It's all good. I never, you know what the thing is this? OGR actually apologized, but I never asked him to apologize. And I even told him he didn't have to apologize. Because I knew he was a good guy. I hate that authentic guy for a long time. Now I'm okay with him. See? That's the shit. Hit the like. I hate you motherfuckers aren't hitting the like button. I got a family member in the hospital. I'm texting that. I got a lot going on in my life, and nobody's hitting the like button. James holds grudges, especially on the Ghost Brothers. Yep. Beer helps. Beer does help with everything. Spy Smasher, which is, of course, AJ, says cereal available on YouTube. Cereal available on YouTube. V for victory, my brothers. It's the Zach Attack. I love how they hid the news while OKC and the Spurs were down to the wire. Then, of course, Fields can block downfield. You know what? And this is the thing that everyone gets wrong when I say this. I don't dislike the Malachi Fields pick. My initial reaction for the Malachi Fields pick was I thought it was too much compensation. Then we had a friend, I think I deleted it. He sent me we showed it on the channel. He sent me the chart, the draft value chart. Now, the organization he works for is a winning team, so his chart's a little bit different. And I do not have it. Oh, let me see if I have it. But he sent me his team's draft evaluation chart. And we went through it. And as I went through it, it turned out that the Giants were only a little bit over the value of what they traded for to get him. So when I saw that, I was like, well, that fucking makes, okay, well, that made me feel a little bit better. Now, he said that the numbers that they use are, oh wait, do I have it right here? Hold on. That's why we're professional here, guys. I think I have the chart right here. I think this is the chart right here. Hold on, let me see if this is the chart. Let me see. I think this is it right here. Yep, this is the chart. Okay, I found this chart. We're professionals. It's tough to be a professional. Here is his chart. I'm going to do this now. Actually, do this. You go to image file. That's a video file. You go to image file. Oh, I did play the videos. And then you go here and then you do this. There you go. So he sent me their evaluation chart. Now he said this was from a couple of years ago. So this wasn't their most recent. So he showed me the pick value chart that they use. And he said that their numbers are probably a little lower than the Giants. So whatever the numbers are, he was like, add like 10 to each. So like at the 129th pick, instead of a value of 43 for the Giants, it'll probably be 53. He said between 10 to 15%. So when I did the numbers from what they traded to get Malachi Fields into that third spot, the numbers only came out like the Giants paid, like if you use the adding the 10, the 10 per each, the numbers came out that the Giants only paid like 9.5% over or 10.5% over market value. So I thought that, was I was upset about that. But then it turned out I was wrong. So then I showed the chart. I came on the show and I told everybody I was wrong. I still think he's a contested catch guy, but he's a big target. He's a downfield guy. He can block, which to someone just mentioned that. Oh, right there, Joe. He's a guy that can block. So I'm good with that. I'm happy with that. I was happy. I'm happy with. I think he could be. I think at times, maybe in the season, he can move into the third wide receiver spot. I would rather. That's what I said. I'd rather give it Hyde a chance to get out to the darkness and bring back Mr. I Hate Eli Manning. You're right. Brandon Ayuk can block, but he is a little bit of a knucklehead, and you're going to have to pay him more money. Coors Light will be flowing for the game. I prefer Mick Ultra if available, but I believe it's Bud Light at the stadium. There is no Coors Light at the stadium. If you had a choice, Tim, Diggs or Debo? Ooh. I'm going to have to go Debo Samuels because he's a little bit younger and he makes more sense in reference to probably the salary cap. Anyone notice the Giants have been hiding their news stories lately? I'm going to give you this. James, I already told you to fucking come on. Where the hell are you? I even put the link in the chat. I know you're not working today. I like that one. Artists get more fro. Giants have done a great job hiding their shit. The divide is this: offense on one side, defense on the other side. Yeah, that's it. You know what's funny? I remember with Joe Judge, and my wife is the one that pointed this out. The first preseason game with Joe Judge, she was like, "Why does the sideline look weird?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I took a picture of it. I won't be able to find. I took a picture of it, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm looking at it. She goes, "Well, I don't know. It's just looks weird." And then I noticed they basically had segregated the bench. There was an empty spot in the middle. The one side was I think, James, you were there. Or I know, no, maybe I know. No, it was Miss All Big Blue was there. They segregated the bench. They had a spot in the middle that was open. The one side was the offense, and one side is the defense. And I hadn't seen that since high school. That there was no intermingling between the two. Joe Spada was 5'11" with the Artist Gilmore fro. Joe Spada, way to drop in a reference from the 70s. Let's bring up the time a little bit. Let's bring up the time a little bit, Joe. Wait, if Odell calls in the show, do we call you and Big Odell? If Odell called in the show, I'd probably fall over and die. Hit the like button. I would fall over and die, but you know what? Before I fell over and die, you know what I would do? I would go to the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. NBA playoffs right now is the best time. Go out there. We're going to look at the sports book right now. I'm going to go see the Knicks because we love our Let's Go Knicks. I can't wait till Wednesday. I got a hoopie. I think it's called a hoopie. You know when they have like the Nerf bat? Oh shit! Let me go to FanDuel first. FanDuel.com. Number one sports book in America right now. The Spurs are minus 205 to the Knicks plus 172. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, FanDuel. Wemby is a minus 180 to take the MVP. The Jalen Brunson is a plus 210. Karl Anthony Towns is a plus 2,200. I would take that. And I know teams think that the Spurs, I'm telling you this, everyone has a plan till you get punched in the mouth. And after watching at what OG Anunoby did to Victor during that Cup series, and we also did take the regular season series 2-1, but looking at what he did to him in that series, he frustrated him. Now, Wemby's only playing on an average 29 minutes per game during the regular season. That's upped since the playoffs. I'm telling you, this kid, there's going to be a collision. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work out well for the Spurs. I'm telling you this. So I would take the Knicks in the plus 172. I would do that. I would do that right now because you know what FanDuel does? It's playoff season. NBA playoffs are here. The best time to join the action. Bet $150 in bonus bet. Get $150, in bonus bets if you win on your first $5 bet. I'm going to say that again. Sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook. Make a deposit of at least $5. Place your first wager with that $5 bet. You win, you get $150 back in bonus bets. So we signed Braxton. Let's go to the Giants line and see if the Super Bowl line moved. The Giants Super Bowl line was plus 6,500. The Giants are still plus 6,500. Signed Braxton. The line did not move. I thought we would at least be plus 4,000 on that Super Bowl winning line right now, but the Giants are plus 6,500 still. Of course, that is also on the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. You know what you do? I forgot to tell people about this. Refer a friend. You both get bonus bets. I'm not going to tell you how much because you want to know why? Because I want you to go to FanDuel.com, go to the sportsbook, load it, and do all that shit. Dog, if Winston is our leader, we're screwed. The only dude who can fix his mouth and get away with it. Let's see. Kayvon is the leader. Yes, Kayvon does all the talking, James. It's a little fucking scary. OBJ sails off into this. I hope he does. I'm not trying to be mean, but I hope he does. Joe Ferry says, can you be a leader if you aren't any good? I hear JMS is the leader of the old line. Tim looks like he works Nas 12 screens in front of them. I got screens everywhere. I literally, but I was telling you about the hoopy. The hoopy. I think it's called a hoopy. I got it for Christmas. And yes, I know it's June. I still haven't taken it out of the box. But you know, like those Nerf, the Nerf basketball sets that everyone had as a kid. And you know, with the backboard and you set it up, and your friends, they got a computerized version of this. And they have an outdoor version of it too, like a full size. And it's a television. It's a fucking television. So, and then you can play games with it, and it's great. So I just haven't had a chance to set it up. So I'm setting that motherfucker up in the man cave. And the man cave already has the 100-inch screen and the 270-inch screen. So I'm going to put up the hoopy, and I'm going to have the fucking games everywhere. And I'm going to play with the hoopy.
That's what she said.
During the game. I think it's called the hoopy. I want to say it's called a hoopy or hoppy basketball game. Is it called the hoopy? Yeah, smart basketball. And then they have this one. I got the miniature one, but they have this full size one you put in your fucking house. Like, how awesome is that? Here, can I do this? Why would they don't let you do things? Yeah, but it's called the Hoopy Mini. It was the hottest gift of the year. He needs 12 screens to run all of his burners account in the chat. Yeah, it's tough to do that. I forgot who I was talking to. Yeah, it might have been Joe Spano. I can't remember. And we were talking about burner accounts, and I'm like, dude. He's like, I love you, bro. But I mean, it was James. Like, I've seen you with technology. I downloaded TikTok because I wanted to see the video from Fangirl, but then someone sent it to me. And thank God I didn't have to do anything because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm not filling this out. I'm not doing this. Let's see. Damn, OBJ, you couldn't beat out Braxton. Couldn't break out Unbreak My Heart. Say you love me again. Slider, what's up, brother? I got to text you back. I got your text message, but I was at the hospital. Joe Spano says, hard to be a leader if you don't play. The Giants will fix the locker room by bringing in Antonio Brown. That'll fix everything. Blackbird says, why are we working out Odell for a second? This is actually the third time. This is the third time we worked him out. We worked him out the first time, and then people forget we brought him back the next day because the Giants wanted to see how he was going to recover. Now, listen, there's still a chance and there's still an opportunity for you to hit the like button. But there's still a chance and there's still an opportunity for him to come back. I don't think there's a good chance, but there is still that chance or opportunity. See, it says right here, Paul Short says, the Giants are not done signing after signing Braxton. They are planning to sign a second wide receiver today. So Odell Beckham remains a possibility. Odell Beckham's second workout with the Giants already concluded early this morning. It was early in the morning. That was just so fucking weird. Russell Wilson is finalizing a deal to join CBS Sports. Oh, that makes sense. He should have did that last year. So there is, so hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. There is a chance and a possibility that OBJ is still out there. So keep your fingers crossed. Tim, I demand an apology for all your anti-liberal beliefs. That's why I love you, Joe. That's why I love Joe Ferris. Braxton is a return guy, special team. Yeah, that's it. We've already talked about that. Diggs or Debo? I'm taking I've already said it before. I'm probably going to end up taking Debo. Debo Samuels is a good football player, not necessarily a good wide receiver. He can help us. I think he's a second. I think he's a third guy if you bring him in. He's a fourth guy if you bring. He's a third or fourth guy, tied for third, fourth guy when you bring back Malik Neighbors. Stephon Diggs is better than Odell, 100%. That's what I said. I don't get it. If you're going to do it, just make the move and do the move that it just makes fucking sense. Spend some cash. If you think you can do something this year, hit the like button. Get us up to 45 likes, but spend a little cash. Might as well kick the tires on him. Why not? I always thought Debo wanted to end up in Carolina at some point. It's a possibility, but he's still not there. That's why I said we talked about that Blackboard. He still had 700 yards and didn't have Jaden Daniels for a full season. John Mara wouldn't be on board with signing Diggs, dude. I wonder if John Mara would be on board with bringing back Odell Beckham. I think about that sometimes. Think about this. The guy trashed the team. The guy literally trashed the Giants. Trashed the starting quarterback. Just got paid, goes on a podcast, and then trashes the organization. I'm not a smart man, Johnny, but I know what stupid is. That made zero fucking sense to me that you want to bring back a guy that you traded after he trashed the organization like there was no tomorrow. And Home Depot arguing with a guy who's no less than Joe Shane. Give me a few minutes. I'm sitting here for a long time, James. That was like an hour ago. Let's sign another nose tackle. The more the merrier. Why not? No way they signed Diggs. Debo is definitely a Harbaugh guy. Yeah, I actually, you know what? That's William. That's actually a very astute observation. It is a foregone conclusion that the Giants will not be signing OBJ. They brought him in for 2 workouts and just need to sign Barrows over him. The OBJ discussion has officially ended. Well, not according to the beat writers. Adriana says the Giants may not be done yet. Well, no, Jordan Renan said that. The Giants may not be done yet today. It makes no fucking sense. It literally makes no sense. And I love it because everyone ever posts about OBJ is the pictures of the catch. And then you have someone say from their sports update show, there's someone that the Giants are signing Odell Beckham Jr. and return to where it all began. That was posted a minute ago. That was posted a minute ago that they're going to sign Odell Beckham Jr. That's by Ari. So I can't remember who Ari is. Someone just sent me that. Unbreak my heart. We'll see. And like I said, I don't believe the Giants are done signing wide receivers. I think ODD was an option. Special teamers. It just doesn't make sense. Mike Garafolo, the Union Times wrote, the Giants are signing Odell Beckham Jr. after this morning. This was Mike Garafolo. Oh, dear Lord, it looks like OBJ is back. There is a potential and a possibility from what we're seeing right now that Odell Beckham is back. There is multiple reports right now that OBJ is back. That's what the reports are saying right as we speak. I'm going to go with the Mike Garafolo report that the Giants, the reunion time, Mike Garafolo said the Giants, and this was 30 seconds ago, The Giants are signing Odell Beckham after the workout. Sources tell me Beckham's second audition results in the sign. Return to the organization almost 8. He was traded away 8 fucking years ago. The idiocy of this team at times now has lent itself full circles. I'm still waiting to see if let's get more confirmation and more updates. Not that I don't trust Big Dash, but he's getting the information to where everyone else is getting it. Let's see here. But that is now the second time that I've seen this. I'd rather have Juju Smith posting this video today for no particular reason. But I'm looking it up right now. I'm gonna keep looking it up. That looks like he's coming back. This is gonna make this would make a lot of fucking sense that we just landed back in the land of the Giants. Rick White, they signed OBJ. People thought OBJ wouldn't be signing amongst all this buzz. He was always going to end up because no one else fucking wanted him. Nobody fucking wanted him. We're bringing James right now to do this James Williams rant. Why the fuck did we sign him? I didn't want to sign him. I'm going to pull my fucking hair out. You bring this guy back. He hasn't been good in years. He shit on his quarterback and everyone else. What the fuck you doing, guys? And of course, there's the venerable James Williams. Yep, it's official. Oh, now Adrienne could be a fan again. I didn't know she was a fan the first time. We are still bullish on Harbaugh with the OBJ. This to me is officially the first true regime mistake. You're gonna make mistakes. No, now you brought in him. You're gonna make mistakes as a franchise, but bringing this guy back after 8 years and he shit on your quarterback, it's kind of nutty. I'm sorry. I mean, and I love it because people keep posting the catch. Now, and I love it now. Connor Hughes says OBJ is back. He's returning to the Giants, confirmed the source. Now the fun begins. This is a guy that hasn't played in a fucking year and a half. So when he gets injured in training camp, we just wasted a spot. It's official. You want to know how I know now that it's truly official? It's official. We're going to go here. I'm going to show you now how it's official, because this is just the kind of guy I am. There you go. New York Giants. This is from the New York Football Giants. The Giants have signed Odell Beckham Jr. Does Jalen Hyatt give up his number, or does he have to sell it? I don't know. I have my Odell jersey still, so I'm fine with that. I mean, it's football. Let's see here. What do you say? I know you're sure, but these are. I'm texting James. I mean, I don't care. They signed him. I can wear my Odell Beckham jersey. I can wear my OBJ jersey now. I don't, it is what it is. They sign him, they bring him in, do what you got. You do what you got to do. I just, he's got a little bit of the Harbaugh connection. I just don't see how this is a truly smart football move. Please hit the like button. Tim, how do you think the Giants will use OBJ, return guy or 4 wide receiver? I just don't understand. OBJ has never played special teams. I don't remember the last time he returned punts. So are you bringing him in as a third or a fourth wide receiver and he's going to return kicks? Are we these guys? I'm not trying to be the harbinger of doom. He hasn't played in a year and a half, and these reunions never work out. These reunions never work out. It's not like he left on greatest terms. And the last time he returned a kick or a punt was 2019 for Cleveland. It was for -6 yards. You bring in a fucking guy that trashed your court, got $98 million, and the next day goes on and trashes your quarterback. I don't know. I don't see it. Yeah, I agree, Deb. I'm bullish on anything until I see some wins, period. You're right. Well, I still got my OD. I mean, that's the only good thing right now. I'm waiting to see on the terms. Could we sport the Travis Beckham throwback? I'm waiting. I am curious to see on the terms. I would assume it's just a veteran minimum. So many people are happy about this. I don't get it. I mean, I get it because majority of fans are stupid. What logical football sense? Just someone explain to explain this to me, like I am. And this is a true this is a true question, and I'm asking this as a true question. Someone explain this to me in football terms, like I'm an idiot. What does the re-signing of Odell Beckham Jr. do for this franchise? Someone just explain it to me like I am a moron. What does this do for this franchise? How does this make, besides the nostalgia element, besides the fact that you're going to get away from the Jaxson Dart, Abdul Carter shit, how does this make the team better? And I'm being honest. Please give me just a football rationale for this. Sure hands. Okay. Can we talk about sure hands from Odell Beckham Jr.? Can we talk about this for a minute? And a security blanket. Wouldn't your tight end be your security blanket? Wouldn't your wide receiver be your security blanket? You are not going to bring a guy in as a third wide receiver and say that he's a security blanket. No, I can't give you that one, because that one doesn't make any sense. He hasn't played in more than 69% of the snaps since 2021. In Baltimore, he played in 50%. In Miami, he played in 20%. And his production has gone down exponentially every single year since the last injury. So I need just give me a true, and I mean a true football rationale for this. And people want to say his sure hands. Okay. Maybe earlier on in his career, but he dropped almost 6% of his passes, and 6% in Miami and 5% in Baltimore. So I can't give you the sure-handed route. And he actually was thrown less passes and dropped more balls. Nobody's giving an OBJ hate. Okay. Don 4161. Step outside your fandom for a second. True football knowledge. True. Just give me a philosopher. Help me out here, brother. You sign OBJ. Explain to me, besides nostalgia, what is the football rationale for bringing in a soon 34-year-old wide receiver who hasn't played in a year and a half, was suspended for PEDS, and his production and his playing time has dropped exponentially over the last 3 years? You're on mute. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I saw. My bad. So I think this is a sign about how depleted our wide receiver room is right now.
But you still have Stephon Diggs. You still have Deebo Samuels. You still have Curtis Samuels. You still have younger guys. Stephon Diggs had 1,000 yards last year. Deebo Samuel's had over 700 with a quarterback room that was in flux with the injury to Jaden Daniels. So what? Just give me you are another team. You're not the Giants. You're the Eagles. You're in the same situation. What is the football rationale for bringing in Odell Beckham?
Well, I'm going to address the two names you just said. So Stephon Diggs, I think the main reason why is because teams have issues with his personality. Because he's a fiery wide receiver.
OBJ's
His
not.
play is. I'm not saying that. I'm just addressing
No,
each of those.
I'm just asking questions. They throw it out.
Yeah, so Stephon Diggs is a fiery receiver. It has nothing to do with his play because you could see he played better and better as the season went on because he was coming off a torn uh, ACL. So Stephon Diggs has nothing to do with his play. Whereas with Deebo Samuel, Deebo actually liked him more than OBJ for the team. I actually agree with you when you're talking about Deebo. Only issue I have with Deebo is Deebo also is a male content because he had some issues with who was that? Jake Moody or whatever, the kicker from the 49ers. You
Yeah.
remember when they got into a little pushing match on the sideline and like he's not a the issue is they all these receivers that don't have teams, they don't have teams for reasons. And it's the same reasons that you don't like OBJ, which is either they're a male content or their best days are obviously
Well,
long gone.
I don't. It's not that I dislike OBJ. It's just a fact from an actual football perspective. You're bringing in a guy that's going to be 34, hasn't played in a year and a half, was suspended for peds, flamed out in Miami, and his last truly productive season was what, 2021?
Right. So I 1,000% agree with everything you just went through totally. I think the only reason they're doing this is it's like one of those big Joe Shane swings to see if it's a big swing and a home run. Because I mean, if you look at OBJ in regards to all those other receivers, his peak is probably better than 99% of receivers that have played the game, to be honest. And you don't stumble across that every day. Now, that was a long time ago, long time ago,
A very long time ago.
but it's been a long time since he's actually played meaningful snaps in the NFL. There's a chance that maybe his body has really fully had time to heal and he's back because the last meaningful football that OBJ played, where it actually resulted in something, which is the Rams,
Mhm.
I thought he was done before the Rams. I really did. After Cleveland, I thought he was going to be done because Cleveland, it was like I wasn't even watching the same guy, especially after he tore his ACL the second time. But
Well,
he came back.
that's another thing I haven't brought up. He's torn his ACL twice.
True, but I'm just saying those Rams run was that gives his entire career meaning because he was on a team that was good that needed him and he played a big role on that team.
Can we talk about the Ram thing for a second though? Because there's a lot of misconceptions about the Ram thing. How many yards did OBJ have in 8 games for the Rams during the regular season?
It probably wasn't that much.
He played in 8 games, started in 7.
But let me ask you this.
Let's go through this first. Let's go through this real quick first. So so he basically had 305 yards in 8 games. So it's 700. That's 600 yards if you're going through a little over 600 yards for a full season. It didn't become this name or this idea until the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So it's not like he was putting up these huge freaking numbers because for the year, because he also started 6 games in Cleveland, so he only had 537 yards for the entire season, and he played in 15 games for 2 teams. It wasn't until his playoff run did he become, back to being OBJ.
I 1,000% agree with everything you just said, but you got me. Looked like he froze.
20. Yeah, I did freeze there for a second. Since 2020, he only had 319 yards, 537, 532, 555. I think you froze there, my brother.
Yeah, I think I'm back. No, I dig it. I dig it. But his playoffs that year, he played. I don't want to say superstar, but he was right. He was a damn good receiver. So I'll put it like this: at the end of the day, this is a potential pickup. That's all it is. It's just like, hey, let's see if we could catch lightning in a bottle, because like the Barrios pick, Barrios is more likely to make the team than OBJ is.
Well, he's a punter. You know, he's actually had success returning punts and kicks. I mean, especially with Jets like 4 or 5 years. You know, he had that 102-yard kick back in, I forget, 2000 something, 2020 something, where he returned it 102 yards for the Jets. I think it was in his third or his fourth season.
I'm just reading what you just what Ryan Williams said.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, no one's being negative. Ryan, I love you, brother, but if you can't handle the honesty, there's plenty of other stupid shows to go watch. You're talking about a guy that's 34, hasn't played in a year and a half, and people are like, we just signed the Messiah.
All right, this is what I would say, Tim.
If he's your third or fourth wide receiver, you're lucky, and if he's the fourth wide receiver, then he's going to have to return kicks and play special teams.
That's what I was going to say is what would you say? How many receivers would you say are easily ahead of him right now with the injuries? Giants? On the Giants.
On the Giants, with or without injuries?
Without injuries. Or no. With the injuries, because that's the reason they signed him in the first place.
With the injury, if I go by the Giant roster, I would take Malik Neighbors over him.
For sure.
I would take Darius Slayton over him.
Yeah.
I would take Darnell Mooney over him.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, just on pure potential, I would take Malachi Fields over him. I would take Calvin Austin over him, because Calvin Austin can play slot and return kicks.
Okay.
So that's 5 guys right now that I would take over OBJ. If we get towards the back end of the roster, I would say, and people are going to think I'm crazy, but I think it's a tie with Jalen Hyatt, because you're hoping that a new regime can turn Jalen Hyatt into a wide receiver. And we already know what OBJ is. There still is an unknown factor with Jalen Hyatt. Isaiah Hodgkins, I would put that as a tie, because Isaiah, when he has been here, has been productive. I would take OBJ over Bo Collins. I would take him over Ryan Miller, and I would take him over Xavier Gibson. So there's 7 guys that I would take over OBJ before I even put him in.
Okay, I disagree on a couple of those dudes. I disagree with Hodgins, and the reason why I disagree on Isaiah Hodgins is because Isaiah Hodgins only played good when what's his name? Jameis Winston was the quarterback. He never caught any. He didn't really catch any balls from Dart. And then you've got, who else did you mention that I disagree with? Jalen Hyatt. That's kind of crazy, man.
I said they were tied.
I can't even go that far, because
wait a minute. Is there potential for Jalen Hyatt to actually become something under a different regime?
It's hard to say that. It's been 3 years.
But no. But okay. With OBJ, he hasn't played in a year and a half.
But where was he 3 years ago?
He was OBJ 3 years ago was in Baltimore.
Right. And so he was producing in Baltimore.
He only played in 50% of the snaps in Baltimore.
Right. But Jalen Hyatt hasn't produced shit. Nothing.
But I'm saying there is an opportunity for Jalen Hyatt to find something or find some potential. We already know what OBJ is. We already know what he's going to bring to the table. We already know it. There's no qualms that you can say that he is going to be. If anyone thinks he's coming in here as a 1 or a 2, no, I'm not comparing him. I'm not comparing. This is what people don't fucking get. Sometimes people are fucking morons. I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying, if you're looking on potential for this training camp, Jalen Hyatt right now, there's an unknown factor to him. He could come in with a new coaching staff. He could come in with the Matt Nagy offense and all of a sudden have 450 yards, which would be the same what OBJ has averaged over the last 5 years when he was playing. So I'd rather have a guy that's 24 years old with potential than a 34-year-old with 2 ACLs, hasn't been here in 8 years, and hasn't played in a year and a half and got suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. People are like I'm making this shit up to be mean. This is what OBJ. This is what happened. I didn't do it. I'm telling you the truth. That this is what OBJ is. He flamed out in Miami. I've talked to people in Miami about him, and they're like, they got rid of him his ass for a reason. Besides the piece that he was never coming back. That he still had a diva attitude with a graham cracker production. Because it's all crumbly. That's what they said in Miami. So for people to think they're getting the OBJ from 10 years ago, because he's been gone for 8. So you think you're getting the projective OBJ from 10 years ago? It's Daniel Jones at the
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
The guy's washed up and has been for years. It's a name. It's a nostalgia. And nostalgia doesn't win you football games. And I defy someone to go back into history to find a player that was at his end of his career who went back to his original team where it succeeded, where the story was a good story, where it didn't end in tragedy for the player. I defy someone to tell me who.
Yeah, so I think the biggest issue for OBJ that I have is, from every description you've given and where he's at now, is the Miami tenure. Because it's like, okay, you can say what you want about the Ravens tenure. He did have some productive games. Was he any pro superstar? Of course not, but he could still be an NFL caliber player. He goes to Miami. I don't even think he got 50 yards that year.
I think he got 50 yards before he got suspended.
Right. So it's a little scary when you're on PEDs and you're still playing like crap. That's not a good sign. But like I said, I think it's just he's had so much time away from football that I think they're just hoping he catches lightning in a bottle and still has some of that explosiveness that he's gotten back since he's let his body heal over some time.
The Miami
Only
Dolphins.
thing I can think.
I'm trying to find the text message. I never delete any of my text messages, but I think I'm trying to find the email that my friend sent me back in. This would be back in December of 24. So let me just put in December of 24. I don't remember when in December, but there's not. He didn't send me any emails for 24. And basically, I'm not going to read the whole email because there's got a lot of other shit in it. That the Dolphins decided. Now get this. This is OBJ. This is this historic people that want to talk about 9 games, 9 receptions, 55 yards. They thought Jonah Smith and rookie Malik Washington needed to have bigger roles in the organization, which is one of the reasons why they granted OBJ his release. Now, does anyone know who Smith and Washington are?
I know who Malik Washington is. I don't know who the other guy is, though.
Yeah. But they got rid of him because they wanted rookies. They're going to be more of a contributors. Why not bring back Sterling Shepard? Why not? What the fuck not? Why not? Why not? Bring him back.
He's been more productive than OBJ.
He was more productive in Tampa. Listen, I don't care if the Giants sign OBJ. It does not affect me, philosopher, one regards. It does not turn my opinion in regards to John Harbaugh. I don't have a different opinion on Harbaugh now. I don't have any thought process than anything whatsoever, but the fact that this guy is probably not even going to make it out of camp. It's just the fact that Giant fans need to remember you are not getting the guy from 10 years ago. You're not getting that OBJ. You are getting the Miami OBJ, not the New York last 1,000-yard season before the injury OBJ. And to have this thought process that this is such a good feel-good story and a locker room story, you're kind of adding another element to the locker room that the Giants probably don't need right now. That's all I'm saying to people. And if you can't take a look at this from a logical football perspective, it makes no football sense. And you could hate me for that. You could tell me I'm an idiot for that, but you're not getting the guy that was 10 years ago. No, you're not getting that. You're not getting the 24-year-old OBJ. You're getting the 34-year-old OBJ. Now, listen, I'm just excited that I can wear my OBJ jersey.
Jalen Hyatt's going to have to get a new number.
I have to pull the Hyatt name tag off the back that I put on there with tape.
Right.
I'm excited about that.
Well, I'll say this.
Blackbird is right. They're posting highlights from 10 years ago.
It's the nostalgia.
Yeah. But nostalgia doesn't give you wins.
No. But I'll say this. And this is the good side of this, because I'm always trying to be positive, right? Let's be positive. So, this is the positive side. If OBJ doesn't work out on this team, his career is over. Straight up. His career is over. So he's going to be walking such a tight line that he's not going to have any room to, rock the boat and cause any drama. The dude is currently, like, according to what you're telling us, you're saying 7th wide receiver. I'll say 5th, somewhere around there, 5th, only because of the injuries. But if you're coming into the team as the 5th wide receiver and you have no special teams acumen, you have got to be spectacular from the start. So this is gonna be interesting to watch. Like, it's gonna get eyes on the team. I think there's more of like a PR, hey, let's see what happens type thing. And it's gonna be fun to watch.
I'm gonna go with the opposite end. And I know everyone hates me, and that's okay about this. But can we all just be honest about this, that the majority of the time with this shit, I'm right. There's not a lot of instances when things like this happen that I'm wrong, because I take off the jersey, I take off the fan hat, and I look at it from the perspective of how does this signing improve the New York Football Giants? Not as from a fan perspective, but if I take a look at this for if I take a step back and I just say, okay, I'm not a Giant fan right now. I am a season ticket holder. I'm not a season ticket. I am just a guy with that is looking at this from a football perspective. There are younger guys. There are more productive guys that are still on the market. Brandon Ayuk, I can't remember say his name, is going to probably be released by the 49ers. You still have Deebo Samuels. You still have Stephon Diggs. You still have these guys out there who were solid contributors last year. One was a 1,000-yard guy. One was a 700-yard guy. All these guys, Deebo Samuels and even Curtis Samuels, can do more than OBJ. And then when you bring back these feel-good stories, they're great feel-good stories. I've seen it in the Knicks all the time. They would bring in these guys that are going to be, the former first-round picks that were going to explode on the scene and do this, and they never do anything because these reunions don't work out. They never do. And I keep waiting for someone to tell me in the chat one reunion that worked out for a returning player with an advanced age that had been gone for 10 plus years. You traded OBJ for the fact that he bashed your quarterback after getting $98 million. And one of the reasons that ownership wanted to move on from it is because they were afraid that he was going to overshadow the rookie quarterback in Daniel Jones. Did everyone forget this? Was I living on a different planet when all this happened? They got rid of one of the reasons was they didn't want him paired with Daniel Jones because of his personality, because of the way OBJ was. They thought it was going to be a bad mix. So now you're telling me it's okay to bring in an older OBJ to work with Jaxson Dart. I don't think, to your point, the only thing I see about OBJ changing is from the sound of it, he needs the money. And I don't know his personal situation, but he went on the podcast the other day, a couple weeks back, not the other, like a month ago, and basically said kind of, hey, I need the cash. I need money, because I can't do the upkeep on my yacht. And for people that say, well, that was the young OBJ, that never goes away. At 50 plus years old, I am the same arrogant, cocky dickhead that I was in my 20s. That doesn't go away. These feel-good stories never work out. I hope to God I'm right. I hope to God I'm 100% wrong on all of this. But the moment he pulls a hamstring on the fourth practice, what are people going to say?
That's going to be fun to watch. That's all I know.
The thing is, it's not going to be fun to watch. Kiki Vandeweghe. Oh my God, great example. Dave DeBuscher, great examples of, yes, I know it's basketball, but guys that the Knicks brought back because they thought, hey, they got something left. Yeah.
Didn't JJ Watt go back to
no,
one of his old? I don't
remember if he went back to the Texans. But I'm telling you this. I'm going to tell you this at 34 years old. And I can tell you this because I'm old. The hammies don't work the same. If he falls prey to the dreaded hamstring issue, he's done for the year. They don't recover the same way. And you are and I'm sorry, you could be bringing in a younger player that could have more potential, or you could bring in a productive player who was productive last year, who can contribute and not have the stigma of being a giant legend. It just doesn't make football sense.
I'll put it to you like this. The worst case scenario, he doesn't make the team, right? Best case scenario, I think he's third, fourth wide receiver until Neighbors and Slayton are healthy. That's it. I mean, that's probably his very best case scenario at this point, but it's not bad. I mean, you make the team, you contribute in the beginning, show you can still play NFL football, help the team to get through the first little nasty stretch of not having any wide receivers healthy.
We have wide receivers and we have healthy wide receivers. And Dylan, if Tim is wrong, he will find a way to gaslight us fans a few videos later into thinking he always saw it. No, I won't, Dylan, because you know what, Dylan, you're a fucking retard. And let me tell you why. Because I'll tell you what I feel, and I will tell you like it is, and I will tell you when I'm wrong, because I've always done that. So for you to sit there and be a fucking idiot to say that to me, fuck off. Take a big tall glass of shut the fuck up. You don't know anything about fucking football. You got a tiny dick. You got no friends. You got something you want to say to me, I park at fucking F8. Come say hello. Come say hello. And I can say hello to your little friend. Because I will tell you, and you know what, Dylan, why do I know you're a fucking pussy and an asshole and an idiot? Because of the fact that when I'm right, you won't have the fucking balls to come back and tell me I was right. Okay. Yeah, I put Dylan in timeout. You're right, I did.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And I love it because this one's like, I'll put him at wide receiver number 2.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks. It's like either people don't think for themselves at all, or when they do think, they don't have any brains to think with. Because it's like there's no way he could be the number 2 receiver.
He couldn't be the number 2 in Miami.
Jesus.
And he got cut because of 2 rookies. Blackbird, I don't play that. I don't play that shit. You know that, Blackbird. You know it. You know it. If you want, listen. If you want to criticize for something for me, and I feel it's fair, I will take the criticism. But if you criticize for something for me to tell me I'm going to gaslight people and say I was right all the time, no, I'll say I was wrong. I said it with Jaxson Dart, and I still say the same thing. I'm not 100% sure if Jaxson Dart's still my quarterback, but he played well enough last year running the Ole Miss offense to go 4-8, and I was wrong about that.
I mean, he said everybody agrees with you too, and I'm literally not agreeing with you.
I know. I was about to say, you have been on the show I don't know how many times. You're disagreeing with me, but everyone agrees with me.
Yeah, like what? Like I don't agree on the OBJ thing. I actually think like he has a potential, and it's only because of the injuries. If it wasn't for the injuries, there wouldn't even be a chance for him to get signed. But I think Malik Neighbors is going to start the season out on PUP. And I don't know what's going to happen with Slayton, but it's looking like he's healing slower too. So it's only because of those injuries.
Well, I don't think he's going to start on PUP because then he's out 4 games.
Yeah. That's just me. That's my call. That's all I'm saying.
Like I said, I don't know his medical. We still have a lot of time before even the first game of the season. I think they may do one of those things that they've done multiple times that most teams do, where they keep him on the active roster. They keep him on the 53. They only run 2 quarterbacks. They keep him on the 53 just on the hope that they can bring him back in week 2 or 3, because then you're not bringing him back to week 5 if you put him on the PUP, at the beginning of the season. So, I think the Giants, unless there's something that they're not telling us.
But I heard there's a PUP list where you can put them on. They don't have to be out for the first 4 games. I might be incorrect.
You are correct, but you can. I can't remember how many times you can use that. There's a limited. I think you can only use that like once, and I doubt they would want to burn that. You are correct, but I don't remember. But I doubt they would want to burn that early in the season, just in case there is a playoff run. Because you never know, like I said, we even with the first year Brian Dable, you start out 7-2, but you finish 2-5-1. So if there was an instance in that 2-5-1 section that you need to keep someone and bring him back early, then I would kind of keep that in my back pocket, because the early part of the season, like I said, it all depends on how bad, where he's at. We don't know where he's at rehab wise.
Yeah,
people were saying that on Saturday he was looking, ginger, but he played the whole game, the whole softball game.
Yeah, it's softball, so I don't really think much of him playing softball. But yeah, it's too early for us to know. I think once you get to training camp, we'll know what's going on.
I love this. Why are you defending a past his prime player? OBJ is done. Nostalgia doesn't win. That's the only thing, though. Nostalgia doesn't win games. I wish it did, because then I would bring back Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor, maybe throw in Harry Carson and Carl Banks. Maybe that could help us win some games. But to your point, I love it though. You're right. To your point, you are telling me I'm wrong, but you're still here. Because you do it respectfully and with a football acclimate. Oh, well, there you go. You're not just sitting there telling me shit because of the fact that we're getting the OBJ from 10 years ago.
Just living in that movie Idiocracy, man.
There you go. There you go. There you go. What is this? Tim, you are a little too much. Stop thinking about the petty stuff. All I said is I understand everything you were saying as a football fan. No, you're not, because if you honestly were understanding what I'm saying as a football purist, as a football fan, like I said, I was on the talk radio today from the Eagles and the Cowboys and everyone else, and they were all excited about the potential for the Giants to bring back OBJ. They were laughing at it because these were people that are like, yeah, they're looking from outside the bubble. He's not better than Calvin Austin III. I'm sorry. No, I don't think he's better than Calvin Austin either, because Calvin Austin can play the slot, play on the outside, and return kicks.
Probably faster at this point in his career too.
And I'm not going to risk the development of Malachi Fields by giving OBJ his snaps.
So with Malachi Fields, this is the only thing I'll say about Malachi Fields. I need to see him in NFL snaps against NFL DBs before I say if he's like where he really will fit, because I think he's gonna have issues separating.
Well, I think that
And like I don't know how much of an issue it's gonna be, only because he's really tall. So it's like he's one of those kind of dudes. It really doesn't matter if he's quote unquote open. Even if he's not open, he's open because he's 6'4".
I've told people this over and over again. This is the only player that I've ever said this. Go watch his highlights. Go watch Malachi Fields' last year highlights in Notre Dame and tell me not every single highlight is a contested catch.
Okay, and actually,
that tells you that he is not gaining full separation from the DBs.
To be fair, I think the better film to watch than his Notre Dame film is actually his Virginia film, because the Notre Dame stuff, he ran like maybe 2 or 3 different routes the whole time at Notre Dame. Yeah. Whereas Virginia, it's like you can actually see he's a decent route runner, not great, but he's pretty.
I don't have a problem with his route running ability. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I have the problem with the fact that he's a big guy that has issues going downhill. He's not a fast guy. He's not a quick guy. He doesn't even, maybe he hasn't, because there's always the term he's got football speed. I mean, Jerry Rice, you could tie him with the sundial on the 40. I'm not saying he's Jerry Rice, but Jerry Rice, when he was on the football field, found separation. Jerry Rice found the ability to break away. Malachi Fields, even at Virginia, does not show the full ability for separation. He's not creating that throwing window for his quarterback because he's not separating. Now, I don't know how that's going to translate into the pros, but if I traded multiple picks to get a third rounder to get this guy, I can't have the nostalgic value of OBJ taking snaps away from that. I'm building, or John Harbaugh's built. If it's me, I should rephrase it. If it's me, I'm building a team. OBJ, does anyone think that OBJ is going to be into the plans of the New York Football Giants in 2027?
Hell no.
No. So you're basically, all you're doing is taking away snaps from younger guys that you need to develop to be a part of this franchise years down the road, not a guy that this is his last hurrah. And you have Giant fans, like someone mentioned, and saying, well, he could be my number 2. I'm sorry, OBJ is not better than Darius Slayton, and I don't like Darius Slayton. He's not better than Darius Slayton at this point in his career. Was he better than Darius Slayton when OBJ was 24 years old? Fuck yeah. But he's not better than him now. And if you think he's better than Darnell Mooney right now, no, he's not better than a 27-year-old wide receiver who has been productive in the Matt Nagy system. I mean, you gotta be crazy about it. And listen, I know they, like with men, they always say, don't think with the little head, think with the big head. Don't think about just nostalgia, because people are, and I'm looking at X, people are going nuts. Like, this is a guy that is 27 years old and still in his prime. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Put this in perspective. That's all I'm telling people to do. Put this in perspective. Don't come out and say and think he's going to put up all these. He's going to put up all these yards and he's going to put up all these things, because he's not. And if I'm wrong about it, I hope to God I'm wrong about it. But after seeing the way he played in Baltimore, after seeing the way he played in Miami, I don't know. I don't see it.
I can dig it, man. I'm gonna head out, Tim.
All right,
it's
bro.
always a pleasure, man, talking to you.
You know you're always welcome.
Of course.
Even when you disagree with me. Assholes.
Go Knicks.
Go Knicks. What's your Knicks prediction?
I think Wemby and the Spurs out physical the hell out of the Thunder. I don't think they're gonna do that.
I don't think they're going to do. Thunder is not that physical of a team outside.
Exactly.
What's his name? So they're not. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think they were a lot more physical and more athletic than the Thunder were. I don't think they can do that with y'all. And y'all got a lot of bodies to throw at Wemby. So I'm gonna say Knicks in 5 or 6 at the most.
I say Knicks in 5. I was
So you
going.
got them game 1.
I got the Knicks losing game 1.
Oh, okay.
I got the Knicks going down game 1. You got this long ass delay. This is even longer than the last one. It's going to take a little bit for them to come back. It's not going to be like when they came back against Cleveland, because Cleveland is Cleveland. This is a different, younger team. And like I said, but to your point, I do think they out muscle Wemby. If you take a look at some of the plays from OBJ Anunoby in that cup game with them earlier and back in December, I mean, OG Anunoby, who's given up, 15 and a half inches, but has got 50 pounds on Wemby, really kind of threw him off his game and muscled him out of the box. So
yeah, I just don't think their guards are that good. I don't think they're bad, but they're just not that good.
I like the kid from Rutgers, the one that was their second or third overall pick. But yeah, I agree. I'm Castle. I'm not that fond of, and the other guy, I'm not overly concerned. I think Hart and Bridges are the cagey, wildy veterans that'll be the difference maker in this game, in this series.
3-D.
There you go, baby. All right, my friend, you have yourself a good rest of your day. That is the philosopher, always dropping knowledge. Let me guess, you were a Daniel Jones defender also. You can't be serious that you think OBJ has anything left. I know you're talking about what you can, because everyone knows I was never a Daniel Jones defender, but I was right about that, but no one ever told me that. I would sign Calvin Austin instead of Odell Beckham Jr. Why are we bringing in running backs to make the team? Because, it's actually not a bad point. Calvin Ridley is not available. You're right. He's not. Tim, I was talking. Oh, I know you were. What happened to the 21-day DL? I don't know. Your guest is defending OBJ, and that's crazy to me. If I was, no, I know. Listen, I bring everyone on. You can have a difference of an opinion on OBJ, and you could be on the show anytime you want. Anyone can come on and have a difference of opinion with me. But the fact is this: you have to bring, if you're going to, and that's why I like Philosopher and I love Philosopher, is the fact that Dylan Harper, thank you. You have to bring in the facts. And to his point, he did not talk about nostalgia with Odell Beckham Jr. He talked about the facts of Odell Beckham Jr. And that's what I said, but if you're going to say stupid shit, then you're not going to come on. I see Fields in a lot of wide receiver screens. Actually, that's a pretty good thing. Your guest might have defended Daniel Jones. He's defending OBJ coming back on. Counting till OBJ, his dad trashed Jaxson Dart. Oh yeah, that's coming soon. Yeah, but Omega Supreme, what's up, my brother? Yeah, we already talked about that. Let's see here. They signed OBJ. The quarterback wasn't the greatest at the end. No, but you don't trash your quarterback. You don't trash a listen, if you're OBJ, you don't trash Eli Manning, who has 2 Super Bowl rings, and you dropped the first pass in the end zone in your only playoff game in Green Bay. And we went on to get that game. Could have been 14-0 in the first quarter if you and Sterling Shepard don't drop the ball, and then you have the audacity to blast your quarterback. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe he can't help with that. He could. I don't know. He is not better than Slayton right now. He is not better than Slayton. Well, Harbs won't let AJJ do that crap to Dart. I believe Harbs would cut him first. Slayton does have an injury guarantee, and he's not going to be on this team next season for $13 million. No, he's not, but he's still going to be a big cap number to get rid of. But I agree with that. I don't agree with the Giants side. I don't agree with it either. But what are you going to do? So OBJ will be taking snaps from Slayton, not Fields. When Malik Neighbors comes back, who do you think OBJ is taking snaps from? He is not going to. People forget this right off the bat. Isaiah Likely is not your conventional tight end. He played 275 snaps last year in the slot. They will move Isaiah Likely around and put Theo Johnson at tight end. So even though Isaiah Likely is listed as a tight end, to me, he's more of that Evan Ingram H-back type player. So who do you think you bring in a guy? Who do you think he's going to take snaps away from? He's going to take snaps away from the rookies. He's going to take snaps away from the younger players, and he's not going to be here next year. So, why would you go out and make this big move for Malachi Fields to have OBJ be the third or the fourth wide receiver? It doesn't make sense. Darnell Mooney is a better wide receiver right now than Odell. Darius Slayton is a better wide receiver than Odell. I would take Calvin Austin because he can do more. I would take there's already 5 guys. I said I would take Malachi Fields because I didn't trade all these picks to move up in the 3rd round to get this guy to have him sit on the bench. Let's see. It's 1:17. Give another hour or so. Okay. Where was I wrong, Dylan? I give you your props all the time. I'll do it again. But you'll be tendency to claim you're always right on top of you. Okay, what was I wrong about? Here you go, Dylan. Here's your opportunity to shine. What was I wrong about? We're all going to wait for Dylan. What was I wrong about? I love it now. I'm getting all these. So now we're winning the Super Bowl. Yeah. What was I wrong about, Dylan? I'll wait. I'm going to wait, Dylan. We're all going to wait for Dylan. Steve, I'm not going crazy to say Steve Largent was a better wide receiver. I'm not going to go fucking crazy with that. Come on, Dylan. What was I wrong about? Tell me all the things I was wrong about and then didn't either own up to it, which is not a lot, but tell me all the things I was wrong about that I didn't own up to. Just tell me, just come on. Let me know. I'm waiting. We're just the show's at a dead stop and a standstill because Dylan's going to tell me all the things that I was wrong about. He's going back into the annals of history to tell me what I got wrong. There's so many things. We are literally at a holding pattern because Dylan is waiting to tell us all the things that are wrong about. We are literally gonna sit here until Dylan comes back. Just for everyone, I always get copyright strikes for this shit, but just for everyone, I'm gonna do this because I don't care. This is what happens when you don't care about copyright strikes. As we wait for Dylan, just for you, WK. Oh, turn it up, baby. Uh-oh. Jace. Come on, Dylan. Let's go, baby. I am Bruce Leroy. Because I've reached that upper level. My mind, body, and soul have become one. Oh. I'll get in trouble for that. It's all right. There you go for WK. Just for you. We've reached that up a level. Phil McConkey right now is better than OBJ. Hurry up, Dylan. Yeah, we don't have Dylan. We don't have all time. We don't have all day for wait for you. Oh, I love when people say, well, you always claim to be right. Okay, well, tell me when I was wrong. It shouldn't really be that difficult, should it? I love when people say, well, you always claim to be right. There you go. There's me again. That's how awesome I am. We only have 50 likes. Hit the like button, motherfuckers. What's the matter? Your finger's broken? The return of OBJ, 4,973. Gettleman was wrong. We actually signed him, cut him to sign him. Gettleman was wrong. You're right. Because I love that movie. I literally love that movie. That is literally one of my favorite movies. Classic is not even the word. I have the Berry Gordy soundtrack in the house. Dylan has left like Elvis. Dylan has left the building. Been a long day. Kajana Carter right now is better. Well, Kajana Carter was a running back, so he can't be better than him. I'm still waiting for Dylan. It's okay. I got all day. I got nothing to do. Today. I was just glad that I was on for OBJ news. Oh, now I got to do a podcast though. Shit. Signing OBJ is going to make me do a fucking podcast. Oh, I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to work. Miles to the Rams. Myles Garrett went to the Rams? Myles Garrett went to the Rams? Really? T.O. is better than Odell. Lynn Swan right now is better than Odell. Rams, wow, that is a... Myles Garrett. What did they give up for what the fuck did they give up for Myles Garrett? I thought he was going to go. For some reason, I thought he was going to the Eagles. Does Myles Garrett, did they even have any first round picks? I kept hearing from somebody that he was potentially going to the Eagles. I'm not seeing Myles Garrett is it on X? I'm not seeing it. I love how this is breaking news. I'm watching Pat McAfee, and that this was breaking news. Myles Garrett. I can't find it. Let's go to latest. Saying that his trade has been done for a while. What are they giving up? Like 19, leaving the Browns to go to Super Bowl contenders. What are they giving up? Like 19 first round picks? Because the Rams never have any first round picks. Rams are finalizing deals that would send 2-time off defense players and amounts to the Rams per the sources. And now it's saying traded by Adam Schefter. I would be curious to see what the fuck they got from him. If that's true, Miles, Browns, and the Titans fight for the worst record. I see it's all over X now, but I'm trying to see Adam Schefter. I see that he's reporting it. But I'm not seeing what the deal is. I'm glad I came over for OBJ news. Well, I'm glad too. There's not much more news for the OBJ thing. It's done. The OBJ thing is done. Javon Curse and a first rounder. So Javon Curse is coming out of retirement. We have a Dylan sighting. Yeah, where do we have a Dylan? No, we don't have a Dylan sighting. I'm at work, boys. I'll be the Jeremiah and Dart for starters. I'm not wrong about Dart. Where was I wrong about Dart? And I actually admitted to being wrong about Jermaine, and I think you mean Jermaine Illuminor. That's okay though. And I actually admitted to that I was wrong about that. And I did a whole mea culpa about that. I'm not wrong about Dart. Dart was 4-8. Dart ran an Ole Miss offense in the pros. And I even said the Giants did a disservice to him in year one by not cultivating an NFL quarterback. Thanks, Dylan. Those are good things. Duper and Clayton both better right now than OBJ. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jared and the first. Okay, now that makes sense. Javon Curse. I was like, Javon Curse. Like they brought Javon Curse out. Okay, see, now it's making a little bit more sense. Yeah, we all know James is pissed. James won't even come on. Okay, all right. Now it makes more sense. I'm gonna have to do a WK. I'm gonna have to do a podcast about this whole fucking OBJ thing for Bleav. So that'll be. I'm not doing a show tomorrow because I got work to do. But I don't know. I don't know when the next show is gonna be. Dart so far throws to one side of the field and mostly short yardage, Dylan. Oh, don't bring up that because none of that's true. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I still can't believe James isn't around. Yes, returning versus its first round pick can promise. All right. Okay. If they can get another first rounder out of the Rams, the Rams never have any first round picks. When the fuck did the Rams ever have a first round pick? I laughed. The Rams are like, we don't need these first round picks. What do you need them for? We're not good picking first rounders anyways. Oh, it's a long day. It's a long day. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner tonight too. I love this OBJ. I felt I left some things unfinished. You trashed your quarterback. You signed a $98 million deal, then the next week went out and trashed your quarterback. You trashed a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. Then the only playoff game you had, you dropped the ball in the end zone. And the only success you had was with Eli Manning. Looks like Ariel Hakaporti is playing. Told you guys he's not going to play. I don't see. I'm just trying to see more thing on Twitter. Chicken parm for dinner. Ooh, chicken parm for dinner would be good. I actually wouldn't mind that. Realistically, is OGB actually going to play? I don't know. I can't see it. I'm telling you guys, the hamstring is going to go. Oh, I do. You know what? You're right. I should have empathy and sympathy. You're right. You're right. How many? He didn't have 28 touchdowns last year. Or do you think that's what he's going to have this year? And I always love it because I even said I think he's going to excel in the Matt Nagy offense. I guess we know now why Myles Garrett, the new head coach, haven't met. Dart doesn't throw his receivers opens or use the outside with a 3%. Yeah, don't talk about don't talk about stuff that's truthful. The Rams trade for an all-pro defense. Yet we signed a 34-year-old wide receiver and with no knees and the attitude problems. At least we have stability. OBJ is not going to do well in the MetLife field. Nope. Perhaps the Giants can trade Carter or Tibbs to the Browns now. Ooh, that's actually not a terrible idea. That's actually not an awful idea. Hit the like button, people. Only got 51 likes. I wanted 55 before I left. And I'm going to leave now because we've been on for 2 hours and 29 minutes. There will be a podcast about the OBJ crap. Actually, I don't even think I'll do a podcast. Maybe we'll do a short. All right, BP, you're out of here, brother. Yeah, I gotta go do a bunch of shit too. Man, I'm just tired, Tim. I don't know how to feel. You know what, man? I don't know how to feel either, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Good or bad idea to bring in Chubb? I'd bring in Nick Chubb. Why not? Dable taught to see us and fire. That's what Dart was asked to do. Good shit. I appreciate it, my brother. I'm out of here, guys. Check out the show. Maybe we'll do a show mañana. I know maybe I won't do a pod today. Maybe I'll do a show tomorrow. What's up, Prince? I love you too, brother. Much love. Rams week 2 stellar. Yeah, that Rams game is not looking any better for the Giants. Great show today, buddy. Look forward to the next one. WK, I look forward to giving you guys the next show as well. All right, we're going to get out of here. This is Tim, this New York Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book on America. Find us everywhere. You podcast and everyone else on Bleav. This is Tim, and I am, as they say, let's go Knicks. I'm out of here.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.